Hey everyone, this is Tina with Content Creators Club, and I'm so excited to walk you through this process on how I fully automate blog articles to newsletter content, walking you through it step by step. So if you don't already know who I am, I help content creators scale their content, impact, and income through no-code workflows, affiliate marketing, as well as email marketing. And today we're going to be touching both on, no-code workflows as well as email marketing. So this should be interesting. But if you don't already know to check out Creators Club, I highly recommend for you to do so because we send out a weekly newsletter that really teaches you how to do, scale your content, impact, and income, giving you tips and action steps for you to do just that. So definitely feel free to check that out. And today, if you haven't already liked, comment, and subscribed, definitely please to do that because it definitely helps throughout this process of growing our YouTube channel. So today we're going to be walking through an agenda of the problem, the use case, the draw it with me plan, so how I think it should be versus what it actually is, which is the plan to action walkthrough. And we're going to talk about where you can get this no-code workflow. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So one of the things that I want to talk about is what is the problem? Well, the problem that I have with being a content creator really is that it requires way too much content. Kind of ironic, but the whole thing is that as being a content creator, it's not necessarily a goal to create more content. It's maybe more of a goal to repurpose the content that you already have to different channels so that you can reduce overwhelm, but you can also just really test your content across multiple different platforms. So if you are that place where you feel like you can't do it all, be a massive content creator and uploader on across all platforms, I definitely get that. If you feel like you're someone who's not consistent with your email list or is not allowed to take content breaks because you're always behind on creating content, then definitely this is the video for you because we're going to remove all those worries. And I'm going to show you how to be able to publish content to your email list consistently, leverage email traffic to your blog articles, and automate the newsletter sending to your email list. So if you're someone who wants to do just that, definitely stick around and we'll get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what the draw it with me plan. This is kind of walking through how I think it went versus how it actually went. But some of the ingredients that we're going to be talking about is, you are going to need something called an RSS feed. I personally recommend and use rss.app. It's very simple and I'm on their free plan, which is really easy to do and use. Then you're going to use Zapier, just the way to kind of automate this entire process. And then you're going to be talking about your Medium content, pull the RSS feed for that, as well as, we personally like to use MailerLite as our in-house, email sender. You can feel free to use whatever works best for you, but we're just going to walk through the process on what that looks like via MailerLite. So if you don't already know what RSS feeds are, just think of them as a way to gather content. It's just a syndicated way to gather all the information that you need, and usually you can get it within a link and then you can pull the data from that way. That's the way that I personally view RSS feeds. It's not overcomplicated, it's just very straightforward and simple. Now let's walk through the workflow process and how I thought it was going to be versus how it actually went. So I really thought that this was going to be simple in terms of get an RSS feed from my Medium account. I write on Medium, definitely feel free to check my articles. And I just thought it was going to be simple as taking the Medium and putting it onto MailerLite. But when I actually, did that, it didn't actually look the way that I wanted it to look. And, I personally believe in creating quality content and it looked ugly, to be quite frank. And so I was like, well, what if I just built my own RSS feed that actually looked pretty and actually did a better job? So the way that I actually went about it was that I created an RSS feed. I actually used AI to create a better kind of snippet or summary of the article that I'm really repurposing to my content. And then I actually built an RSS feed and I sent it to rss.app, which then sends it to MailerLite, which goes through the whole process of sending my email list and weekly newsletter content. So that's just something as an insight. Now we're going to go ahead and walk through this process. So we're going to do this walkthrough tutorial. If you're watching this video, you are watching the tutorial. But if you're wondering where you can get this template, I definitely recommend for you to look in the blog or description. And as an affiliate disclaimer, I recommend and use all the products I promote. So I do make a commission at no extra cost to you. So if you purchase through my link, definitely feel free to do so. It really helps out me as a creator. And if you fill out a proof of purchase form, it's just a way that I can say thank you as a gift for purchasing through one of our affiliate links. So let's walk through the process on how this really goes. So the first thing that you really need to do is you actually need to get your RSS link through your blog channel. So if you're a Medium writer, it's pretty simple. You just have medium.com, put the title, feed, and then / your specific username. And then you'll actually get all of this text. Now it looks, again, a little bit more complicated than what it actually is, but this just is kind of like a way for, I would say, to read the content and pull the content. You're going to look at that. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to actually create your no-code workflow. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have your feed URL, so that direct URL. If there's a specific feed that you want to select, feel free to choose that. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's continue. And then it's going to find the information that's new items in the feed. We've already pre-tested this data, but basically whenever a new article comes on to my specific, blog, then it will trigger this workflow. Now, you may not always want to have that, but if you want to, say you post a specific article within a week. So if my articles go on Friday, then I only want to choose the content that is specific to Friday. So you can feel free to put a filter on what works best for you, but I like to do, if the pub date is actually inclusive of Friday, then definitely choose that. The next thing that I'm going to do is just use the text and formatter step to really, take out this information. We want to be able to identify kind of ID that this blog article has, so we can actually look it up within my housing data. So I house all my blog articles within a specific database. So I recommend for you to check out our Medium article database. And what that does is it will actually look for that specific, link or specific ID that Medium has and see if there's anything matched up within my Airtable record. We can see that we grabbed the ID. Then we're going to use the find record in Airtable space. Definitely connect to your account. Choose the action. So I'm looking specifically, for the link within my article database that says, like, if you see this link, return that data. And generally, you'll notice that when it comes to Medium links, they always have an ID associated to them. So that's kind of what I'm using as a search filter. So I press continue. I actually find the specific, article that I'm looking for. This pulls the content that is related to it. And then what I'm actually going to do is, as you can see, I wrote a lot. Press continue. Create image in banner bearer. Again, this is something that is optional, not something that you have to do, but something that I like to do where if I want to create a specific, type of, image that populates within my newsletter, then I'm going to create an image in banner bearer to do just that, where it's just a really way to just, kind of personalize the content. It's not something that you have to do, but it's something that is nice to do. So we have that image. Now I'm going to use actually AI to kind of summarize the content that I've found within the Airtable record and actually create a summary for me, so that when you actually see in my newsletter, you can actually see that summary that actually AI wrote, but it's based on the content that I've given it, right? So for example, I say, look at this content and create a 250 character summary of the content above. So bada bing, bada boom, it does that just for you, which is really awesome because, the response that you get is pretty similar to the content that I wrote within the newsletter itself. So next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to create an item in RSS by Zapier. So the reason why you're doing this is that you're going to create the item in Zapier. Now you could take the link and you could put it into your MailerLite dashboard, but it doesn't really look as great. So I had to take an extra step where I use another tool called rss.app to actually create my own specific feed. But basically you want to create a feed in Zapier to have your base, to have all the content like the image link, the content summary, the Medium link to the blog article, all that in your RSS feed. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to create, you're going to take that specific link that you get in your test and you're going to actually create a new feed. So it's very simple. You just press add feed in our rss.app and then you put the link here, you generate it, and then when you get that specific link, that is the link that you're going to be uploading into MailerLite so that the content actually looks all good to go. All right, so let's kind of move on in terms of what this actually looks like. We're going to do something called an RSS campaign within MailerLite. I just want to show you a preview of what it looks like within my specific newsletter. So let's just kind of walk through that. But we have a newsletter that goes out every Sunday. As you can see, this is the link that we created when it comes to, Banner Bear, specific to this newsletter system. And then we created a little bit of a blurb of the content. And then if you want to support, the Content Creators Club, you could do that right here. But let's walk through how I went from, the newsletter feed to creating this content. So you're going to go ahead and select create campaign, give the campaign your name. So we're going to just do test newsletter RSS campaign. I will say if you're on the new version of MailerLite, you will have to have a paid plan to do RSS campaigns. So that's just something for you to bear in mind. Beyond that, MailerLite is a really great free tool that I would recommend. So when it comes to the subject, I actually like to use the last post title because, my blog articles change. So if I'm using the last post title, then it's just using the same name as the actual title of the post. And then we're going to, track all that information. Next, RSS settings. You're going to drop the feed URL that you used within your blog, and you're going to put that right here. So feel free to grab the link that you created within your feeds and then put that link inside here so that you can, leverage that piece. Now this is the piece that gets interesting when it comes to automatic sending. So when should you send it? Well, if you're only sending a weekly newsletter, send it on the time that you actually want to send it at, right? So I specifically like to send, a newsletter every Monday, or not Monday, every Sunday, and then choose the time that works best for you. I tend to usually do it around 12 o'clock. And then you could do something where it shows only the new posts. And then if you want to get notified when the actual email goes out, you feel free to put your information in here. So let's go ahead and set up the content. So you can create your own template and play around with the feeds, but I've actually created my own template in here. So let's go ahead and choose this template. And as you can see, it did exactly just that, right? So you were able to find the content piece right here, put that information, and then I built out that newsletter. Now, if you wanted to edit it, things like that, you could show a selection of the items that you want to show. Then if you want to do the settings, you can choose the settings that you want to pick. So specifically, if you want to have the link in terms of read more, you can put that information, remove the author. If you want to take all that stuff, you can just add that, whatever works best for you. But I generally like to have the excerpt, which is the little summary right here, as well as the featured image, which is the image we created in Banner Bear. And then feel free to edit this how you like. If you want to put a call to action, you can put a call to action. If you don't have to. But again, what works best for you. But this is pretty simple, all good to go. Then I press done editing. And then I go through the whole process of choosing the subscribers that I want to send to. So feel free to make that selection and move on. And then that is pretty much it. If you want to send that, you can feel free to schedule it and do what works best for you. But I just wanted to give you an A to Z process when it comes to fully automating your blog articles to newsletter content. Again, do what works best for you. I think this is a really great way for you to repurpose your blog article content, as well as, consistently publish to your email list in an automated fashion where you can do less but create more. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!